Hey everyone, welcome to the Bitcoin analysis for today. It is Monday morning, April 6th, 2020. We're sitting right here at about 11 o'clock in the morning, so I do want to give an update on Bitcoin. And of course, before I get into this isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You are responsible for your own trades, manage your own risk, doing your own research. I am just giving my opinion on the market. And of course, all of the trades that I talk about here, again, with it being not financial advice, also all of the charting that I do on here is all done in real time. Right, I don't prepare any of this ahead of time. I'm going to be showing you a chart that I haven't changed since last, I believe it was Friday. So I'm going to be making these changes in real time. I'm probably going to change my mind, but the general trend is still going in one direction. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So let's go ahead and flip over into the chart, just with the disclaimer that this is all very fluid. And to be an experienced trader, you need to be able to adapt to change. So that's what I like to do. I like to spend 15 minutes taking a look at an asset and determining whether or not I believe it's still going to continue in the trend that I am expecting, or if we are changing course. So let's just take a look at things here. So I'm going to go ahead and leave everything that we have here from the end of March in place, because I think that that is pretty close, pretty close. I don't really like the 1, 2, 3, and then the 4 going out way as far as it did. I would be more inclined to count this as a 4 down here, and then we have a 1, 2. But if that was a 1, 2, that would mean that the 3 would have really had to come in, and it just didn't happen. Didn't happen. So I don't like this. I don't like this at all, actually. I don't like the way that this is counting. Although I do think that the trend is still up. That is something that I think we can all agree on. I think the trend is up, but at the same time, I'm just not feeling it right here. I'm not feeling it. I do think that we do have some upside ahead of us, but I think it's probably going to get rejected here at about 8,000. We've got the equilibrium here between this little trading range that we had. I've kind of outlined this as far as the lower and the upper. Very possible that we get up there. It's just I'm not seeing the volume that I need to see a sustained move to the upside. So yeah, I do think that we are going to top out here real soon. Let me go ahead and just zoom in here on this price action that we've got and see what we can make of this. All right, so I think we have a 4 here, and then a 1, a 2, a 3. If this is a diagonal, I suppose you can have an ending diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and then work our way into the 5, which again ends up here to right around 8,000. I think that makes sense. Maybe it makes its way up here to 8,100, 8,200. I think that's very possible. In which case, what it means is this is a 1 right here. This is a 2, and this would be the 3. Again, we're talking about an ending diagonal at this point. Talking about ending diagonal. So that would put the 3 right here. I was kind of hoping that this is going to be a 1, 2, 1, 2, but that's not happening. I don't see that happening. So I see the 1, 2, 3, and then we're coming down here for the 4, potentially right here. Then we have got a 1, 2, working our way into potentially a 3, 4, 5, which is going to take us up here to about 8,000 to 8,200. So that's going to take this right around right here. We're talking about, this may be taking a little bit of time to finish up. So we're going to have to give it some time, but that's going to be the 5 there, an ending diagonal for this 5. Okay, again, let's just talk about this here. Going all the way back, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 working on the 5, and of this 5, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially this 5 working itself up here to be an ending diagonal. So that ends this right here. That ends the 5 of the 5. And again, my opinion here is that we are just finishing wave 1. Now we have to come down here for wave 2. And if this finishes here, I actually think we're going to go lower than what I had originally anticipated. Potentially, this comes all the way to out here. We're talking about April 16th or so. Personally, I expected Bitcoin to continue trending up for at least the next week. So I'm going to continue to play this up to about 8,000. Again, I'm still long from 6,000. 6,020, I think, is my average entry on the long. I'm going to play this up to about 8,000, maybe just a little shy of that. I'm probably going to get out. probably going to get out of that trade because I don't see further upside in the short term. Okay. So, part of trading, of course, you got to know when to get out of a trade, when to walk away from the table, as somebody on the Discord, said earlier to me. Makes a lot of sense. You got to know when to leave, because if you don't exit a trade, you never made money, right? We're not here, at least I'm not here to just buy and hold, right? I'm not here to buy at 5,000 and just hold it forever. I'm here to buy at 5,000, sell at 8,000, come back down to maybe 5,500, and then buy again, and then take this up to maybe 10,000 or so, then sell, and then get back in, back around 5,000, 5,400. This too, actually, I do not believe is going to be this close. I think this too is going to be much further out, but I'm just going to kind of put here as a placeholder for right now. This is likely, again, going to be, strung out a ways. I think that this is probably going to string out just a little bit longer. Potentially, we go a little bit higher than a little bit higher than 8,000, 8,100. This takes a little bit longer. Again, I was expecting for a few more days of positive movement, and right now it doesn't look bad, right? It doesn't look bad. We were talking about this white trend line, which, if you take a look at this, let me remove all of the indicators. I'm going to talk about the indicators here in just a moment. But if you take a look at just this channel range that we've identified, I was talking about the importance of this white lower, and well, sure enough, what do we have right here? We've got basically a test of that. We had a little bit of a scam wick to the upside and to the downside, and then we had another test here, and then we had a nice move up. We had the 12-hour cross on this candle. And then we've moved up since then. We've had a decent markup on price. If you take it from the low down here, let's get this. There we go. A low to the high. That's still about 7.8%, almost 8% from this low right here. So, we did have a decent move. We had a decent move to the upside. But nonetheless, I still am expecting move to the upside. But if we violate this white trend line here, and again, this is going to move up, the further along that we go. Right now, this white trend line is sitting at about 6,900. The further up we go, this is going to move up to 7,000, 7,100, depending on how far this goes. If we violate this white trend line, I'll probably get out of my long, because you have to do that. If you have an entry, from down here, where this is where I picked up the majority of mine, you gotta get out, right? So I got in at the very beginning of this trend here. Okay, so we had just corrected, and then we had several things that were telling us, hey, you should probably get into this trade. More importantly, we had the 1 hour and the 3 hour both in oversold conditions. We talk about this all the time. This is a good place to enter in a trade. Now, the 12 hour is still trending against me, so my position is not that big. So that is something I'm willing to admit. The position is not that big, but nonetheless, it's sitting in pretty decent profit. We are basically $1,100 over where I entered this, or at least where my average entry was. But again, you have to be able to get out of this trade in profit. Otherwise, the trade meant nothing, right? I collected funding, and that's going to be about it. So stop losses sitting right here at about 66.50. I do not believe 6,400 is on the table anymore. We were talking a lot about that. I don't think 6,400 is going to happen, at least for this upswing, right? So we're talking about a move to the upside. So if this happens, we get to the upside, we're not going to see 6,400 there. We're going to see 6,400 on the way down, where we're probably going to hit, bounce, and then fall again, right? Not that it's going to look like this, but this is what I expect to happen. So 6,400 is off the table for me. I'm removing all 6,400 bids, and I'm waiting for this to make its move to the upside, which I do think is going to happen. The question that I commonly get is it too late to buy? Well, what I will say is, if you do buy, don't be in it for a big move. Don't be in it for a big move. You're talking about, overhead resistance here at 7,700. You're talking about overhead resistance here at about 81, 8,200. So you are reaching the point of diminishing returns, where I would be waiting for a significant pullback, right? I mean, dips are for buying right now if you're in it for the short game. By the short game, I mean the short-term game. But then I would think that up here would be the area to start looking for short positions, somewhere between, maybe 7,900, 8,000. That's probably where I'm going to be looking to start taking profit on this position here. And then I'll be looking to maybe ride the wave down, and then basically ride that wave from, hopefully 8,000, 8,200 all the way down to maybe 6,000, 5,800. So there is a decent trade to be made there, but question is whether or not it's going to get there, right? So if we talk about taking the trade at, let's say we get here right at 8,000, and you're talking about getting out at 6,000, that's a 25%. As far as stop loss goes, you're going to have a pretty wide stop here because it is very possible that this just overthrows, overshoots. I'm not blindly setting this trade. I'm just simply just illustrating this. I'll wait to see what the reaction is at 8,000 before I determine whether or not I want to take a short. Don't be a hero. Don't try and catch the top. Don't be a hero and don't try and catch the bottom, right? I got lucky here. There was some luck in this trade that I got in when I did. Taking a look at the oscillators, it was looking very, very good, very rewarding. A good other entry right here is at 61.50. We were talking about this. This was also another good area to enter. Right now, I think it's a terrible place to enter, to be completely honest, because if you take a look at the oscillators again here, you've got the 1 hour way overbought. You've got the 3 hour approaching overbought, and it's actually entering there right now. The 12 hour potentially getting into overbought. So no, it doesn't look like a good place to buy. This looks like a good place to start considering selling, right? If you're not already in the position from back here, this is not a place where I would be interested in buying or adding to any positions. I wouldn't be adding to positions up here at all. I would be looking to take profit on these positions back here, and I would be looking to start building a short position. I do think that it does have another move to the upside. Probably is going to make its way up here to at least this yellow horizontal that we have here at about 76.50. One thing that I will point out, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here in just a moment. This right here is more than likely going to get taken out. I do expect that it probably will get taken out. So that would mean that this is going to just come into consolidate here. Maybe it goes sideways for a bit longer, and this goes to about the 7th, which is tomorrow afternoon actually, before it makes that last leg up. Very possible that happens. A lot of times what we see when the price action moves sideways, which that's what this was right here, just a lot of sideways chopping action, right? You see it move sideways, then you see it mark up. Then you're going to see it move sideways, and then you're going to see it mark up, and then you're going to see it move sideways, spike up, and then reject. Okay, that's more than likely what I think is going to happen. We do see this type of price action pretty frequently, right? So let me just go ahead and illustrate the last time that I can recall this happening. I'm going to go way, way back where I know that I've seen this occur. So let me just scoot back. As you can see, I've been keeping an eye on this for a long, long time. All right, so let's drill down. We're going to drill down to right here. I'm on a 4-hour time frame, but again, what you can see here is you see sideways, mark up, spike, dump, right? So we had the sideways mark up, we moved sideways for a while. This would be what we've had last week, and then we're having a mark up, we're moving a sideways, spike up, and dump. So that's, again, that is what I think is more than likely going to happen over here. Again, we have to just kind of wait and see what happens. But again, we had spike up, move sideways, come down a little bit, mark up, sideways, and then we need to see that spike to the upside, and then we're probably going to dump. But again, this is kind of what I'm expecting to see. We move sideways, spike up, round off, and then dump. Okay. A lot of times you'll hear people say that we take the stairways up and then we take the elevator down. So that's unfortunately the way of the game. So hopefully this helped you in some way, shape, or form. If it did, like, subscribe, share. We had a good group on here. We had 12 people live. I'm not a big person here on YouTube, but I do tend to think that my analysis is pretty solid. So if this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, join the Discord. Doesn't cost anything to join the Discord. Just throw in a comment and I'll be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, good evening. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay indoors. Do your part to prevent the spread of the virus before we have a vaccine or any treatment for it. So do your part and stay in here and just watch the charts. So you could sit here and do this all day long. Have a good day, everyone.